And welcome back to Alan's Walk That Door podcast. We're here. We appreciate the brave firefighters that whenever flames went up in a house and no one else knew what to do, they walked through that door and they saved everybody. So you walk that door.
That was a good one.
And I just want to continue our conversation with Will. So we were saying when you were transitioning to firefighting, right? Yeah, you said they were paid. What was it? It was a paid.
They call them paid on call, which was they would give you like $10, like twice a year you get a check, and they collected $10 for every meeting you went to, training session, and then every fire call you made, and then. So that's what you got paid, $10 per event, basically.
Okay.
And you were doing this while you still had your other job, right?
Yeah, this was the training, and back then, this is about the only training that was available.
1980-ish?
1975, 76.
Okay.
So that's what you did to learn how to do the job.
And is it like you see like in the do you ever have to do those things that like you see in movies or TVs or something like that, or like they put up the ladder? They climb up.
Like the fire drills and everything like that.
Or is that just like Hollywood?
That's competition stuff where they
they break in through
like Backdraft had that.
They call them musters, and they do all this stuff, like basically the firefighting skills, but like on steroids. Like you're running and you throw the ladder up and stuff like that. We don't run and throw ladders up the fire.
That's very true.
It's all theoretical.
So yeah, you learn how to hump hose and.
All right. So then, how did you go from doing this for $10 every meeting for a fire tutorial trial, like you said, or whatever you're doing, and having a full-time job? And at this point, was Kathy your wife already, or no?
Yep, we got married when I was still an orderly. Yep.
Okay. So, you move fast. I like that. He literally stood by that coffee for 2 years. He drank that nasty coffee.
Will the snake. Right? I got you.
Like he drank that nasty coffee.
Yep.
Probably had to use the bathroom. And you won her over, dude. That's awesome. But okay, so you're already married to Kath, and while this is going on, so then how do you transition from doing this for $10, while you're doing everything, to full-time firefighter, and then actually becoming a really respected and really well-loved and really well-couraged fire chief?
Well, they used to call these civil service jobs. So you would take an exam, and you could. Get
civil service? Sorry.
Civil service.
Yeah, I never heard. No, I couldn't hear.
Like cops, firemen.
Okay.
Post office, and so there were books. Books that you could buy at the store that you could train on how to pass these exams.
Wow. It was like a cheating book, kind of.
Well, no,
it was like cram
what you
school,
needed to know.
Oh, just the important stuff.
It was like cram school.
The important stuff. Yeah, understood.
Like how gears and pulleys worked. You could look at a mass of gears and know if this one is spinning this way, what's the one at the end doing?
Okay.
And then
Understood. Right.
And then there would be theoretical questions about, all right, you get a call. It's 2:00 in the morning. These streets are closed. These streets are one way. What's the best way for you to get from here to there? So there was a bunch of situational questions. Basically, they wanted to see if you were trainable, I think, more than what you know.
It was like an aptitude test, kind of, in a way. Yeah.
And they have a physical agility. You have to run. You have to do some chin-ups and a variety of stuff. And then there was psychological.
How many chin-ups did you do?
Yeah.
A lot more than I can do now. Like 10 or 12 or something.
Okay, that's more than the national average, I think.
I'm impressed.
I was 21 years old and weighed 146 pounds. Yeah, so
Yeah, you were all muscle.
How many chin-ups can you do now, you think?
I have no idea because it's not part of my workout regimen.
I dislocate my shoulder.
I have no idea.
Go ahead. Anyway, so doing all that.
There's like 300 other guys taking the test, and then back then there weren't any women. Now it's probably majority women that are looking into this kind of work. Not majority firefighters are women, but of the people coming in to go to school and to get the jobs, it's getting roughly, I'd say 50% of them.
That's awesome.
Getting close, yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Yep. Closing that margin.
Yeah. And okay, and then you were I know you got chosen because you said you were one of the only ones out of a whole bunch of people that were there. There was an EMT technically. You had that the knowledge behind you. So you said group A, group 2, group 3.
Well, you got points for all your scores. So that what you scored on a test, whether or not I was a POC with the heights already, so I got points for that. And then the interviews and they put it up on a scale, and I was like number 7 on the list.
What's a POC?
Paid on call again. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh. I was like, my mom used to call me a POS. Thank you. Yeah, I needed to let down.
Took a minute, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to you, Andy. I'm so sorry for a
Love you, Andy.
Will's happy to be here. You can tell he's ecstatic.
Yep.
No, and I just really want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing this for me, and this is amazing. I really do appreciate this. This means the world. Even if no one listens to this episode, I am having fun, and I hope you are too.
Oh yeah.
And
like you, like your team.
Thank you,
Miss Lola. We'll catch her last time.
Yeah, she'll be back.
Love you, Lola.
Anyway, so okay, you become firefighter. How do we become fire chief?
That was a process. I was full-time on the department for about 7 years, and I left to start teaching full-time.
Yeah, because you said you weren't teaching, right?
Yep.
That's what I was asking, right?
And I started to bring people into the country to train with us here in the Heights. And
was it my uncle? You're bringing people into the country. I need help.
There were people from all over the place.
Exactly.
I had hundreds of people from about 30 countries come into Chicago Heights to get training.
I love this guy.
And then at some point in there, I continued to go to school. I was writing books. I was lecturing around the country, and I was offered the chief's job in the Heights, and I came back and did that.
So they offered you the job?
Like 12 years later. So I left in '84, and I came back as chief. It was like 2001.
What an honor, man! What an honor.
All hail the chief, baby.
Yeah.
Actually, since you mentioned bringing people into the country, you've gone out of the country as well. You've done quite a bit of traveling.
I've lectured and trained people in about 60 countries.
Nice.
To date.
He's lectured me when I forgot to water him. At
It won't be the last time.
My other gig. He won't be the last
There'll be more of that.
No, he gave him exactly.
No, continue, Matt.
But in your travels and everything, my main question is during that time, you're traveling, what is a interesting travel story? I guess, what's the worst hostel you had to sleep in, the worst meal you have, or the best meal you've had, or something like that. Like the biggest highlight.
That's a good question.
From that
fire
travels.
Ex-retired fire chief.
Well, an interesting thing about when you're traveling because you're teaching is that people go out of their way to make sure that you have a great experience. And
yeah, I can see that.
There's been that.
Well, and you and your wife are also awesome. So I feel like people you're just a genuinely good guy, dude. I think everyone would we would go out of our way to make to make you have a good experience.
Well, a lot of these people have been in our home, so they would travel to the Heights and then they would be in our house, and then when we went there to teach, they wanted to make sure that we were in their homes, and Kathy went with me when she could. So it was nice. It is nice. We still do some of the same stuff now.
So Matt, I think want to know, and don't worry, before we finish, I want to get into your business. I want to get into your company, your logo, and the books that we have here. Yeah. But what was the best place? And do you take Kath, I guess, is my question? Because she's retired, right? I mean, as a you technically, but you have your thing going on, so do you go? I know it's mostly business, but you take her and you just kind of make it like a holiday kind of thing. I think that's what Matt was asking. Yeah, what kind of place? What was the best place you've been to? There's a lot of great places. I know. There's a lot of great places.
A big best highlight.
We love Europe. We love. We've been to Argentina several times. We had a great time there. Brazil. Probably going back to Brazil later this month.
You brought me Brazil snacks.
Yes, I did.
And I'll forever be grateful. Thank you so much.
Easy.
My mom ate most of those. Shout out to Andrea.
That's for you, Andy.
Kathy, over the years, traveled with me as much as she could, and as I got older and I retired so it wasn't my job to travel, but I traveled to promote, the work that we're doing. I pretty much try to select places that she's willing and able to go. Occasionally I have to go by myself, but pretty much now I'm not really interested in traveling if she's not going with me.
47 years, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like your other half.
Yep.
Yeah, yin and yang.
The rest of me.
Mama always said that Jenny and I were like two peas and carrots.
Stop.
No. This is it's just so.
How many different kinds of shrimp are there?
Well, there's gumbo shrimp. There's skewer shrimp. Anyway, both of those were not even things he said. I think.
I have no idea what that.
So okay, fire chief. You do that for a while. At this point, you are married. You have kids. You're a great father. You're a great guy. How? And then I want to talk about your business now. So what? You retire, right? Somebody else takes your position, and now you go around giving TED Talks. You go around like Tony Robbins.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you go around giving motivational
Tony Robbins
speeches.
of the EMT
yeah,
world.
like, yeah. So like, tell us a little bit. Because I want this to reach the EMT people too. Tell us a little bit of something. What do you do?
Well, full disclosure, I've never done a TED Talk.
Oh no! I would. The full disclosure, I made most of that up.
But basically, I get invited to speak at conferences. We went to Cancun and I met with a guy I work with there, and then we stayed for a week. I'm coming up in Omaha, Nebraska. We're doing another one in Naperville. Back in Cancun this winter, probably towards the end of September in Brazil. I get invited to speak and then work with these folks. And
What do you speak about?
a lot of what I do is talk to people about what the standards of care currently are, and what the science is telling us is supported. What we do is science says that's the right thing, or if science is telling us maybe we should be doing things a little differently. So that's basically what we write about in our books. What we try to do is to make sure that the latest things that we know make it into what we're training people.
And I know that's like highly scrutinous. Like every year, there's like, oh, that method isn't even used anymore, kind of deal. So they go on to something new. That's.
I just reviewing an article today that we actually made a change in one of our books because one of the things that we taught years ago has been removed. Said, well, it doesn't work. Well, it turns out, like a lot of things, it doesn't work in every situation, but it works in specific situations.
Right.
So.
It tends to happen that way sometimes.
So we train people, we put it into our materials and say, here, this is not, the old process was incorrect. So they got thrown out, baby, bathwater, the whole thing. But it's effective if it's used in these specific situations. So that's why we spend so much time writing literature reviews, reading these, and then making sure that our materials are always current and on the front end of things.
Yeah.
So I would say it's safe to say that you are a science-based guy, right? Like, and statistics, science-based.
They call it evidence-based. We've been together 5 years.
Sounds good. Evidence-based sounds even better.
Empiricism.
Yeah.
My
At its
friends and I,
finest, yeah.
and we've got 11 books that we've written in 5 years. And we're going to continue to do that.
Excuse me.
Just a variety of different things. So tactical situations,
So
chemicals.
what are these about? Let me just.
Those gray ones, those are the literature reviews. And those are all the scientific papers that we reviewed. So it tells you what the paper's about and how it affects your care and what you should be thinking about. And each one of those is 1 year of reviews that we did. And the fifth one is about to be published.
My goodness.
So after you publish, are you winning the Pulitzer Prize? What is that called? Like the
Pulitzer Prize?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's,
I'm pretty sure you'll give them a medal.
Malatina just came out right there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's not yet. Well, we're a small company.
What's the name of the company?
It's the Internet.
I see your logo. Yeah, I see the initials.
Phoenix. It's the International Prehospital Medicine Institute, and we have courses that we have put together. We teach people how to train other people, and then the books to support those, and books that just support the practice in general. This one here is 80-something chapters and almost 800 pages, and it's like all things on pre-hospital care, just kind of a study guide.
Like the Bible of.
Yeah, it's
Because that wasn't there before, right? So like when you dove into this, you didn't have something like this.
There's textbooks of all different types. This particular one, a lot of programs are using this as a refresher course. So like we have to, as paramedics, we have to take 2 or 3 exams a year to keep our licenses. So still, I'm nearly 70 years old. I'm still taking tests to keep my paramedic license. So these are like a question and answer format that kind of poses a question, tells you what the answer is if you didn't get it right and what the answer really is. So it's just kind of a review of all things. And the rest of these are specific. This is bleeding control, first aid, casualty care, civil disturbances like demonstrations and riots. This one is about tactical care. So if you're in a situation where it's a tactical situation like a terrorist situation where people are getting injured, how police officers and others can take care of people when they're under fire.
It's pretty cool. What?
This one is about hazardous materials. So
My goodness, it's a book for everything.
This is truly
Covered a lot of ground.
truly inspiring.
We've got
really cool.
2 more that are about to release. One is to go along with our trauma course. It's a 400-page book on trauma care, EMT textbook. So we're basically, and again, our goal was to provide current, up-to-date content that was affordable. One of the things we learned in traveling, and my 5 partners have done the same work, we go all over the world and somebody pays, like for your typical book that I would have to buy to take an EMT class, it's like $80 to $100. And in South America, that's like how much money they make in a month or two, so they can't afford to buy the books that we're doing. So we said we're not gonna do that. So this book here, for instance, costs $24 in print and $14 as an ebook. The rest of these books range between $4 and $7. So our idea was to make it affordable so people could have books that will help them to learn and be a reference to them. And
Affordable books to help people save more lives.
yeah, exactly. Make it current, affordable, accessible, and we don't have anybody else to answer to. We did this with our own money, the 6 of us, and we purposely dropped the price.
I just want to say, shout out to International Prehospital Medicine Institute, Will Chapleau, Greg Chapman, Michael J. Hunter, Peter T. Pons, and Lance Stuke. Seriously, they have books for everything, for trauma and casualty care, even trauma and casualty care, dealing with terrorism and dealing with different things. They have affordable books. These guys are out here trying to change the game. This isn't big pharma. This isn't people trying to outsell you on things. These are really genuine, good people trying to make affordable knowledge, because knowledge is what saves us. Knowledge is what helps us be better. Knowledge. And they have this knowledge, and they're doing their best to spread this knowledge amongst us. And that is why I do this podcast, because people like Will Chapleau should be known about.
Thank you.
Do we get to keep these books?
Can I get that one on trauma care?
Right. Can I get the trauma care?
Can I get the nuclear?
This is a one for folks at home. This is everything everyone should know about first aid. And
earlier before the podcast started, he said he was going to let me keep this one. Full disclosure, he never said that. I was just trying to see if I could press him.
Don't make him look like.
so that's it.
No, but this is like just in case if you like help I fall and I can't get up kind of thing.
Hey, if you're bleeding, it teaches you about
Or like
control.
one of your friends, or like puncture wounds, stab wounds.
Somebody has trouble breathing, heart attacks.
Oh,
it's all in
and
there.
I thought he was going to be. Oh my! This is amazing. It's not even just. It has.
It's step-by-step pictures?
Yeah, step-by-step pictures. It couldn't get any easier than this, guys. Essentials of First Aid by the International Pre-Hospital Medicine Institute. Please, if all of my friends they're trying to go into this field, all of my friends that want to be EMTs, please check this out. These books are amazing.
Very, very good.
So
they're available as ebooks too, by the way. So like this in an ebook is like it's less than $3.
yeah, because let's be honest,
And then
because
it's on your phone.
who reads books anymore at this point? Like everyone, right? I mean, I was gonna say it's and then you raised your hand, so I don't want to say it. No, I'm saying everyone's just on their phones. It's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think ebooks. Yeah,
PDFs, ebooks,
Exactly.
everything.
Particularly
PDFs.
for this kind of stuff, because you would if somebody goes down in front of you, you want to have it on your phone.
Yeah, and you're right, as opposed to
much
having
quicker to the draw.
absolutely.
And like here, there's a table of contents, but in the ebook, the table of contents, you touch the thing and it
and
jumps.
it
Jump
takes
right
you
to
all
it.
the way down to the
What you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And that could save a life.
Yes, it could.
Well, what is the future looking like for the company? What does the future look like for you and Kathy? I know you said you have some more books. You have another book coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's 3 books. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we should have 2 books go out, and another one within a year. And again, the same kind of thing. It's like if I can make it so a student can buy an EMT book, and it's not $100, it's more like $30. I feel like we've accomplished something. So that's the kind of thing we're trying to do, because it's really to charge students the amount that you guys have all gone to college. I mean, books kill you.
No, they do.
Yeah,
$400
it's
for
insane.
one thing you're going to use one semester.
You're talking about these guys that are working on ambulances and not making anything, especially in foreign countries, but even here in the States. You have to pay rent, you have to feed yourself and all this other stuff, and then you got to buy your books for school because you want to be a paramedic or a nurse. So we're just in the business of making it more affordable, accessible, and we can move faster because we're not a big publisher. Mm-hmm. If we decided one week, they said, we have to update this. A week and a half later, it was new. So anything after that was a new edition and changed.
I see what you're saying.
Very nice.
Are we in Barnes and Noble?
Yes.
Oh, that was a joke. Goodness. That was a joke, but I'm proud. I'm impressed. That's pretty cool. And
these are all Amazon.
Full disclosure, just because I know my mom is gonna be watching this. He went to college to become. I never went to college. Yeah, he's like, you both went to college, and I was like,
You could have just let it slide.
Listen, Mama. No, hold on. I'm gonna be called out in the comments. I don't need that. I never went to college.
To answer the question about Barnes and Noble, though, it's like the print versions are all with Amazon. Barnes and Noble, Apple, Kobo. There's like 6 or 7 different places where you can get the ebooks, and they're all linked through our website and through the book titles. You can find them all.
And we're gonna make sure that we put your website before we leave. We're gonna make sure we put your website in our link, and hopefully you can share our website too.
Oh, absolutely.
And I also have a card for you. Before you go, Will, so we now know what constituted and what made Will be the man that Will is. This is Will Chapleau, a local resident, a local warrior, and possibly a hero.
Yeah.
Still doing things to try to make everything better. And I love to end my podcast. You get the last word. As soon as he's done talking, we shut it down. Remember I did this last time, and I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, but I constitute this. Oh, actually, before I go, I have gifts. I have a gift for you. Give me.
I got you.
What do we have?
He's got a gift.
What do we have for the contestants, Lyle?
Well, over here we have ourselves a nice little trip to. Take your time.
Crete. Dyer, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. Where you too can visit the Jacksons' home.
All right, so I actually went. I tried my hardest to find a firefighter.
He really did.
Firefighter.
He really did.
Little G.I. Joe, but I couldn't find one. But I got the closest thing to a firefighter.
G.I. Joe. What's the name of it?
GI Faction.
Really?
It's you can probably tell.
You got Sergeant Ruck.
You can probably tell this is not from a good brand store. You can probably tell this is like Aldi brand kind of thing, and I'm so sorry, but I tried my hardest. And here is a sticker for Walk That Door podcast. These are both yours. It came from the heart. Thank you for the books. Thank you once again. I can't even begin to tell you how grateful I am, and I'm done sounding like a broken record. But thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for shedding the light on EMTs, and now that we know our business, I would love to eventually have another podcast with you where we just talk about future things. Talk about how EMTs can be better, things that are going on. Yeah, like the future generation of science. Yeah, what's changing, what's not changing, what they need to know.
Yeah, it would be nice to have an update podcast with you.
Yeah, first I just wanted everyone to know your character because I find you to be an amazing person, and I wanted to shine the light. So before we finish this podcast, last words you want to leave us with? Anything? No, for the world, what? It doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. Last time you said some really inspirational stuff, and I loved it.
It still echoes in my head when I'm at school.
As soon as he's done, we ended. But what do you want to let the world know? if you had any good word, any good phrase, anything to say.
I guess I'll go with what we were talking about last time. I just I'd like to share with everybody is like, take a breath, relax. It's okay for people to have opinions. It's okay for people to be different, and none of it's worth fighting about. So just, I wish everybody would just calm down and exercise a bit of civility in your conversations and in your concerns, and let's not be so divisive. The country's ripped in half right now. I would like it better if we could have political, theological, philosophical discourse without having to hurt somebody else in order to prove to ourselves that we had the right idea. Your idea is right if it's the one you have. You don't have to like beat somebody else up so that they succumb. We need to stop that. We need to get back to where we could disagree with each other and move on with our lives.